September 11th. Today, 16 years since those terrorist attacks. So, um, God, this is a tough day for people, but it's what it is, and that's how I'm starting. But other than that, it's Victory Monday. Now, before I get into it, sorry, I had a lot of crap going on this weekend. Very late starting the podcast today. I know it was supposed to start at 4. Now I'm here starting near 5. Just a lot of schoolwork to do, a lot of stuff going on. I couldn't do the NFL preview thing on Saturday. Couldn't do the Eagles recap yesterday, but I'm doing most of that stuff right now, getting that over with, because that's pretty much what we're talking about today. Now, yesterday, very happy with the way that the Eagles went down there and won. They got that win. They got the win. It was a nice win. Here's the deal. Carson Wentz is playing. Yeah, I knew it was going to come down to quarterback play. Yesterday, and that's what it really came down to be. Carson Wentz played very well. 2 touchdown passes. He played very well. He played a very good game. By the way, Skip Bayless talking shit. Here we go. Skip Bayless can go off himself. I hate that guy. Anyway, Carson Wentz outplayed Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins had the touchdown pass that really shouldn't have been a touchdown pass to that Trace Thompson, who broke 7 tackles. It was really a ridiculous play by the Eagles defense. Redskins got their second touchdown by the whole Kerrigan pick 6. So that was their second touchdown. Hold on. They're a pain in the ass. Anyways, so that's how the Redskins got their second touchdown with the pick 6 by Kerrigan. Carson Wentz, bottom line, he just outplayed Kirk Cousins. He is the better quarterback. He was the better quarterback yesterday. Proved to be a very good quarterback. I was very nervous going into this game because this is a place, where the Eagles haven't won since Chip Kelly's first game. It's just, it was, who wouldn't be? Kirk Cousins has owned them. But, it turns out yesterday, the Eagles defense put a lot of pressure on Cousins. There was a couple times where Pryor beat whoever was covering him for a deep pass. But Pryor dropped the ball. And or either Pryor dropped the ball or Cousins overthrew it. He didn't really get that much, out of Pryor yesterday. He dropped the ball. That would have been a touchdown. So, the Redskins, they did not have a great game on offense. They did not have a great game on defense. Other than the Kerrigan thing, Norman played. I think Norman did play a bad game. He did his job, but that's that. But the Eagles, so Carson Wentz 2 touchdown passes, a pick 6. I really don't know the exact numbers, but he played a very good game. Now, LeGarrette Blount, the line, played a very good game. Carson Wentz, the first touchdown pass was unbelievable. Aguilar, that was just crazy. But the Eagles just played a very good game against that team, who they struggled against, and that was a very nice win. Now, I was very glad that this happened, but I was not very happy that it's nice to. I'm not going to deny. I mean, listen, if the refs were bad yesterday on both sides. Um, I love to see the Eagles win a game, especially that in that way. It's a team that you haven't beaten in a while and open the season. But the Fletcher Cox touchdown was a forward pass. It was a forward pass. I mean, he just was. I mean, you look at the replay. Cousins was going forward with the ball. He just was. It should have been an incomplete pass. Um, I mean, call me a not Eagles fan, but call me anti-Eagles, but it wasn't a forward pass. It was a forward pass. Very happy that the Eagles scored. I'm very happy that the Eagles end up winning and that won the game for them. But I'm just calling it how I see it. It wasn't a forward pass. It wasn't a backwards pass. It wasn't a fumble. Cousins was going forward with the football. I don't know if there's any other rule that says that that's not a fumble or that's not a incomplete pass. It's a fumble or something like that. But we'll see where that goes. Like we got good news today about Ronald Darby, who was out. He was down for a minute, not a minute, but he got quartered off the field. It looked like as if he was out for the year. He's only going to be out 6 to 8 weeks. So the Eagles, he won't need surgery, but that's nice. That's very nice to see. That's very nice to see. Because now that the defense will all be back together at some point this season. What else? The defense just played great. The defensive line played great. So that's really kind of my assessment on the Eagles game. A couple bad. I mean, there's a lot of bad plays. I would say that. Obviously, I'm not too thrilled with Doug Peterson's play calls. Putting Aguilar behind the running back, doing that backwards screen. What the hell? I'm not a big Doug Peterson play call fan. I'm not. I'm just not. What they really should have done at the end of before the 2-minute warning on that 4th and 1 was to put your offense out on the field to try and get them offside. Let the clock run down to 2-minute warning. Then that'll be your timeout. And then after the 2-minute warning, put your field goal unit on. And then therefore, you had that lead going into under 2 minutes. And then you give the Redskins a full field under 2 minutes to work with. And you still have 3 timeouts. I mean, obviously that didn't matter, but, it is what it is. And he did some couple other screen passes that weren't the time for screen passes. I mean, that's Doug Peterson. I have no problem with the whole Gatorade thing at the end of the game. I mean, that's what other teams are bitching about. I mean, I'm glad that we got the win. They're having fun. They want to play football. Let them do what they want to do, except, put your fist up or sit down for the national anthem. I mean, seriously. What else? I know I had another point to make. Huh. Shit, I knew I had another point to make. Yeah, I mean, the whole Trace Thompson touchdown was bogus. I mean, you have to make the tackle. You have to make that tackle. Come on. But anyway, it's great to see the Eagles start out 1-0. It's very nice to see the Eagles start out 1-0. You move to Kansas City next week. That's going to be a very hard game. I mean, it's just going to be a very hard game. I'm real. Can we probably stay content with the Chiefs? We probably can. We can probably play them very well. Yeah, so we will see what happens next week at Arrowhead. I mean, the Chiefs are coming off, obviously, that big win against New England. The Eagles are coming off a nice divisional win against the Redskins, so we'll see where that goes. Other NFC East, two other NFC East teams were playing last night, Sunday Night Football, Giants, Cowboys. The game was all in Dallas. I mean, seriously. I mean, the Giants' offense cannot get anything going. Listen. Their line is terrible. Their quarterback is old. if you have Beckham, Marshall, Shepard as your receivers, and one of them's out, you can still play well. You should still play well. But last night, Eli was just giving up whenever he got pressure. He was just giving up. Um, he didn't. Other than a couple throws, he really didn't throw the ball over 10 yards. Giants didn't really play a great game. I'd be concerned if I were a New York Giants fan. The Cowboys, they're the cat. They played a very good game. But I think the Eagles can compete with both those teams. Obviously, I think we'll probably be beat down. I think when the Giants come here in a couple weeks, I think we'll probably beat them down. I'm telling you, I think we'll probably beat down the Giants because you look at that matchup with our defensive line and their offensive line, we'll probably run through, get to Eli the whole time. That's just how it is. So yeah, other NFL things that really kind of caught my eye. The Colts need a quarterback, a backup quarterback. Scott Tolzien is garbage. They need to look back immediately, but he will be taken off the PUP list this week. He did not. The Colts just did not play a great game. They did not play a great game. They got out coached. Sean McVay, Wade Phillips as defense. Wade Phillips knows what he's doing. He knows exactly what he's doing. He won a Super Bowl as a defensive coordinator with the Broncos, so he knows what he's doing with his defense. And they really took advantage of the bad quarterback play, and they put a big spot on the board when that became big. What else? Packers won. They played a nice game. Steelers, they escaped from the Browns, but the Browns made that close. The Browns made that a close game. As it looks right now, the Browns, they probably could maybe squeak out a couple games this year. Obviously, since I'm a Notre Dame fan, I really like Deshaun Geyser as their quarterback. I really do. I think he's a very good QB. Think the Falcons, did they win? Did they win that game? There's just a lot of, if you're a fantasy player and you have like Julio, you had a bunch of these other guys, you got a lot of underperform. Especially in my league, everyone underperformed this week in fantasy. Almost everyone except for maybe one player. But it was a very tough week if you're a fantasy player. A lot of underperformers. So yeah, I gotta use the bathroom real quick. Hold on. I think early in the game it was 8 runs, 8 passes, and I'm like, hey man, you got Julio Jones, you got the reigning MVP. What are you doing? It wasn't until the fourth quarter, Tony, that they threw the ball on first, second, and third down, and on third down they got the big 80 long touchdown pass to that tight end. That was the first time in the fourth quarter that they gave Matt Ryan a chance to throw on all 3 downs. Sarkisian was horrible. I think he still thinks he's working for Nick Saban. Well, here's the thing. It's easy to be seduced by Atlanta. They are glamorous. Perimeter players. Running. If I said to you, best players, you'd be like, okay, Julio receiver, running backs are outrageous, quarterback's really good, Vic Beasley, really good pass rusher. All the glamour positions are amazing. How about How about their left? How about their free safety? All right. So yeah, I'm back. Yeah, so a lot of underperformers in the NFL this past week. So yeah, what else? 2 games tonight. I'll make my pick right now for both of them. I forgot. I just completely forgot. This week there will be NFL picks. I'll probably do them Friday just to get them over with, just in case if there's no NFL preview on Saturday. So yeah. Tonight, Minnesota, New Orleans. Drew Brees is a very good quarterback. He's a very good quarterback. He has new weapons now. I got to pick the Saints in this game. They're completely outmatched. They completely outmatch Minnesota. So I'm going to pick New Orleans. And then tonight, the late game, very late game between San Diego and Denver. I will pick the Chargers as I guess you could say, a little bit of a upset, and I pick them to win today with Big Melvin winning that football game for them. So yeah. Now let's talk about some college football, and then we'll get out of here. We're not going to really last that long talking about college football. Um, you know, there was 4 very big games this weekend. Obviously, Notre Dame, Georgia, Oklahoma, Ohio State, Clemson, Auburn, and then USC, Stanford. Um, Notre Dame played a very good game against Georgia. Um, I mean, there were some bad play calls, but you're gonna get them. But Notre Dame was a possession away from tying that game or taking the lead in that game, so I'm not really upset. Very good football game to watch. USC just spanked Stanford. I was completely wrong with that pick. They really, I mean, they beat them by almost 20 points. So, I mean, in their own stadium. So, USC won. Then we moved to what turned out to be a very surprising football game with Ohio State and Oklahoma. I mean, geez, 31-16. I mean, that's bad. That's bad if you're Ohio State. That's really bad. Then you move to Clemson, Auburn. Clemson, they proved to be still that team, still that Clemson football team. That's very good with Dabo Swinney. Still that team. So I'm very impressed with Kelly Bryant and what he's been able to do. Obviously, Penn State's been impressive. That's another team that's been very, very good. Playing college football. So I mean, with that big win against Pitt, so they move into this week. So yeah. A couple more Eagles things before we head out. I might want to get to a baseball point. Caleb Sturgis is out for a few weeks, so it looks like the Eagles are going to have to pick up a kicker. He made a couple field goals yesterday, but he missed the one extra point. He looked very shaky. I mean, I don't know what his deal was. In the preseason, but he missed some kicks in the preseason. Now, I mean, missed that one extra point, but on that he looked pretty good. So, looks like the Eagles are gonna have to pick up another kicker. One final Eagles point. This team, as we move into week 2, I think, I'm very happy with the way they played. I think we probably should have won that game. If we were to win that game, we probably would have won it 19-17 as opposed to 30-17. Nothing to take away from Fletcher Cox. Nothing to take away from Brandon Graham for, stripping that ball or, getting rid of that ball. And, that really kind of should have been a forward pass, but that's really kind of my opinion on that. I don't really know if I'll probably look into it today to see if there's any rule with that. Hopefully that could prove me wrong because I really want to see the Eagles. I just really kind of want to see that. But they did play a very good game. They did play. I'm very happy with the way they played. But as you move next week, I mean, next week is a very tough game. Next week is a very, very tough game as you go out to Kansas City, playing that building against that team who is very hot. Right now. I mean, if you pick up a win in Foxborough on a primetime stage, that is a big, big, big win. That's a big win. So you're gonna go there, play a very. Doug Peterson going back to Kansas City, coaching Andy Reid. We all know how he is. Second time he's coaching against a former team. He obviously won the first time back in 2013 at the Link. So, we'll move forward with that as the week goes on. But very happy with the way the Eagles played. Very happy with the way the Eagles played. So yeah, picking up that big divisional win, it's just gonna help you in the long run. It's just gonna help you in the long run. Well, I mean, I think there's a big chance that we could, after watching the way they played last night, and I know they didn't have their star receiver Beckham. The Giants did not look good on the offensive side of the ball. They did not. They didn't even look good on the defensive side of the ball. So, the Giants, that's the next team we play in the division in 2 weeks. I think we have a legit chance to sock them at our home, you know, our home opener, and that place will be rocking. Especially, I mean, it'll be rocking either way, depending on what happens in Kansas City. But I think it will be big, big. The Eagles pick up the win in Kansas City. They come back home, 2-0, beating down a team that beat the Patriots in the opening week of the season. Going to play the Giants, a rival who has struggled in Link. A aging quarterback. The line sucks. The defense was shaky. Now it all depends. I mean, they are going to be on short rest too. That's another thing. They're going to be on short rest too, and they pick up that win. Unbelievable. I mean, the Eagles will be in very good shape. 2 division wins in the first 3 games. But that's next week. We'll be talking about that a week from now. I really should be, but it is what it is. All right, so a couple baseball things to make. Washington clinched the division yesterday against us, Phillies. So they're playing very good ball. Dodgers now dropped 10 games. I mean, they were just, I don't know what's going on with them. The Yankees are going to be playing a game an away game against Tampa Bay in their crosstown rival Stadium City Field. Watch that game. That's going to be very interesting because it's going to probably be a Yankee crowd. Everyone hopping on the subway, heading over there. The City Field, that City Field, I was very impressed. That's a nice stadium. And then the Indians are just tearing it up. What are they at? 18, 19 games with their winning streak. I mean, they're just tearing it up. They're a monster good team. So, yeah. All right, so that's that, and thanks for tuning in. Sorry for the delay. Tomorrow we'll be back 4 o'clock. Hopefully we'll get something at 4 o'clock. All right, so I'll see you guys, and have a good one.